The two most important parts of a Metroid game are exploration and upgrades, but without an awe-inspiring boss fight, all that's kind of meaningless. For decades now, Metroid has been giving gamers some of the most intimidating and entertaining boss fights in history, but only 10 can make our list. Hey, I'm Nervous Nick for Screw Attack's Top 10 Metroid Boss Fights.
Number 10.
Good old-fashioned rock golems. You see, long ago, somebody must have decreed that all fantasy worlds have to have either dragons, giant spider things, or rock monsters. But until Metroid Prime, Samus hadn't really encountered that third one. TORIZO is found in the frozen Phendrana Drifts, and if it looks like an icier version of that thing from Galaxy Quest to you, you're not too far off.
The rocket doesn't have any vulnerable spots!
But unlike what Tim Allen would have you believe, TORIZO isn't so invincible. Using your thermal visor, you've got to pinpoint the creature's ever-shifting weak spots so you can whittle TORIZO down to just a few pebbles. TORIZO isn't mind-blowing in terms of design because it's, a pile of rocks, but it gave us a small and welcome twist on that whole shoot the weak spot formula. Thank you, TORIZO.
Number 9.
Most bosses in Metroid like to make their entrances slowly, usually for some kind of intimidation factor. It kind of fits with that whole spooky, lonely vibe that these games do so well. SERRIS from Metroid Fusion isn't about that life. This giant water snake comes blasting into the room at hypersonic speeds, and he tries to knock you into the water where your movements are ever slower. Every time you manage to hit SERRIS' head with a powerful enough projectile, he goes back to this top speed, completely invincible while it lasts. Really, the big thing that makes SERRIS so cool is that he's one of the most fun bosses in the game, and he's even got a sweet boss theme on top of it all. If only he were more of a challenge, we'd probably put him up even higher.
Number 8.
You know what's great about CHOZO statues in these games? They're like helping hands in a world that's constantly trying to kill you. Sometimes they open up new pathways, or give you upgrades, or even carry you like a sleeping baby down some stairs. Ain't that sweet? And then Nintendo lied to all of us! On your visit to Planet Zebes in Super Metroid, one of these CHOZO statues called the Golden TORIZO just straight up starts attacking you. Not just that, but it actually catches and throws your super missiles right back at you. Excuse me, what? You can't do that! Technically, the Golden TORIZO is more of a sub-boss, but it was one of the biggest surprises in any Metroid game to date. And it also taught us an important lesson. Trust nothing.
Number 7.
Samus and Ridley seem to go together like Batman and the Joker. No matter how many times this purple pirate dragon is defeated, he's sure to come back again by Samus's next mission. He's been resurrected as a robot, a genetic clone, and even as one of those X-parasites in Metroid Fusion. It's a tough call, but Ridley's best comeback appearance has to be his 3D debut as Meta Ridley. This fight takes full advantage of the open-air arena, allowing Ridley to fly around and bombard you with projectiles from the sky while you try to pick him off from afar. With almost nowhere to run to, you're definitely in Ridley's house. Well, that is until you shred his wings to bits and bring him down to your level so you can pummel him with missiles. And when he's finally met his match, he gets blasted by CHOZO lasers and then does his best impression of Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. But hey, Ridley always comes back. In fact, you might even say that rule applies to top 10s as well.
Number 6.
Man, you want to talk about a classic setup to a boss battle? Even back in Super Metroid, finding a half-decayed corpse covered in green alien scavengers was a pretty terrible sign of what's just ahead. In this case, the return of KRAID. Besides Ridley, KRAID is easily a contender for one of the most recognizable bosses in all of Metroid. I mean, it's kinda hard to forget fighting a monster so huge it can't even fit on the screen. Of course, KRAID has appeared in other Metroid games like Zero Mission, but we like the fight in Super Metroid the most. Not only because of how technically impressive it was at the time, but also because of the way KRAID enters and moves around the battlefield compared to his other fights. This is another boss fight we'd love to put higher, but come on, the guy dies in like 3 super missiles. Weak!
Number 5.
This boss fight is a story of revenge. Early on in Metroid Fusion, an X-parasite infects Samus while she's at her most powerful. Pretty much this just means that you lose all your weaponry while a more powerful doppelganger haunts you for the duration of the game. And let me tell you, it's really freaking stressful when this thing, the SAX, shows up when you least expect it. But by the very end of the game, when you finally reclaimed your lost tech, you get to settle the score once and for all. Although the build-up to the SAX fight is great, the fight itself isn't exactly the most interesting. It's not so much about creating your opportunities to score damage as it is just running laps around the room and shooting whenever possible. Even when this thing turns into this weird frog monster, the toughest part of the battle is already behind you. But just for the pure satisfaction of exacting some good old-fashioned vengeance, the SAX marks the spot. Just go to the next number.
Number 4.
Speaking of Metroid Fusion, there's a moment when Samus has to backtrack to the icy cryosphere only to find this time that the entire area is in shambles. Worse yet, suspect number 1 is stalking you in the background. This is Nightmare, the most aptly named boss in all of Metroid. I don't know what other adjective there even is to describe this biomechanical beast than freaky. Nightmare manipulates the room's gravity, drastically slowing your movement while it blasts lasers at you. But as you damage this machine-like creature, it begins to leak this green slime out of its face until finally, it truly earns its namesake. In a series already known for being spooky, Nightmare still creeps us out.
Number 3.
A good boss battle will usually make you feel like you're up against impossible odds in some way, and a quick, effective way to do that is to just make them friggin' huge. I mean, look what that did for KRAID in the 2D games. But in the 3D Prime series, we would say that QUADRAXIS uses its size to great effect. And yeah, there are plenty of big enemies in Prime 1 through 3, but QUADRAXIS here isn't just large and in charge. It's mobile as well. You'll spend a lot of this fight weaving through its legs as it stomps to create shockwaves or pull you in with its tornado attack thing. Cripple its joints enough and QUADRAXIS' head separates to attack you from the air, which means you get to do one of the coolest maneuvers in a Metroid boss fight. Ramp yourself off of its downed legs to plant bombs on the beheaded boss. Yeah, it's exactly as fun as it sounds.
Number 2.
As the ancient prophecies have foretold, Ridley is, in fact, on this list twice. I mean, he comes back from the dead so much it'd be kind of rude not to do it. Part of me really wanted to put Neo Ridley from Metroid Fusion here because of his spine-chilling yet ear-bleedingly loud screaming. But all things considered, his battle in Metroid Zero Mission just brings more to the table. Better animations, a more treacherous lava-filled arena, and to be perfectly honest, way cooler attacks than his Fusion counterpart. Plus, it's kind of nice to just fight Ridley proper for once and not some clone or mechanical reincarnation. And for those of us who are weird and actually like it so much, we've even still got our fair share of Ridley screams.
It's number 1.
Not only is our number 1 the most famous boss fight in Metroid, but it's one of the most well-known in all of gaming. You already know what it is. Super Metroid's own Mother Brain. This was an emotional fight like no other in the series, and to break it down for you, I think it's important we just go step by step. The battle starts. You wail on Mother Brain as hard as you can, only to be effortlessly brought to your knees by its deadly laser brain attack. Apparently that's the official name. Anyway, at the last moment, the baby Metroid Samus saved in the previous game incapacitates the grotesque monster and revitalizes you. Until Mother Brain reawakens and mercilessly annihilates the poor creature that just saved your life. That is when the music shifts from a tone of dread and powerlessness to one of vengeful but heroic motivation. And you, as the player, know exactly what's about to happen. This brain is about to taste the mother-flippin' rainbow. What ultimately makes a boss fight great is how strongly it makes you feel a certain way. A battle can aim for intimidation or even just flat out fun, but the only thing that could be better than either of those things is something that's just satisfying. And I gotta say, pounding a boss to dust rarely, if ever, feels as good as it does against Mother Brain. Our secret number 11 goes to the mighty She-Goth from Metroid Prime. This fight has a rather rude beginning with Samus, killing the boss's kids, but when the Big Bad Mom comes out to play, you'll hardly find a meaner looking Metroid boss. Sadly, you've got to put her down too, but hey, free wave beam if you do.